In yet another lawsuit against embattled rapper Sean Combs, a woman claims that she was lured into traveling to an exclusive Diddy party through a radio contest, only to be and wake up in the hospital.
Claims it's hard not to wonder, despite every humiliation Diddy has gotten in the past year, are they just the tip of the iceberg? Let's come back to Lisa, because honestly, her story just gets more chilling the deeper you think about it. Looking back now, Lisa says she's beyond pleased that she turned down the so-called honor of spending time with Diddy. And who can blame her? With all the claims piling up, it's like she dodged a bullet. No, a cannonball, in her own words. Lisa admitted that the latest stories about Diddy absolutely freaked her out. She said, "When I think about what could have happened that night, it sends chills down my spine. I was flattered at first, but now I understand how dangerous the situation could have been. And here's the part that really makes you pause. You just can't help but wonder how many other women were approached, felt pressured, and didn't have an easy out as Lisa did." She said her husband being there was her saving grace. But what about the others? The ones who were alone as more and more claims come to light? Lisa's relief has turned into outright fear. She reflected on how close she came to possibly being another name tied to these disturbing claims. It's terrifying to think about. I could have been one of those women. The more I hear, the more glad I am that I said no. Lisa's story isn't just a near miss. It's a stark warning of the power dynamics that play in these situations. It's easy to imagine how someone in her shoes, dazzled by the glitz and glamour of Diddy's world, might have said yes without a second thought. And as unsettling as Lisa's experience is, it's just one piece of a much bigger problem. What about the women who did say yes, the ones whose lives were forever changed by what supposedly went down at those parties? Now let's zoom out for a second, because these claims aren't just isolated incidents. They're starting to paint a much darker and more complicated picture. Diddy's name has been making news for all the wrong reasons for almost a year now. And with every new story, his empire seems to be teetering closer to the edge. First of all, let's talk about the obvious, the legal fallout with these new claims emerging. Could we see even more claims piling up against him? I mean, his legal team is already working overtime trying to swat away all the existing cases, from criminal to civil ones, but this could open the floodgates. And let's not forget the impact all these claims are having on his image, well, at least what's left of it. Diddy, the once invincible mogul, now has people's eyes on every move he's ever made. If this isn't rock bottom, I don't know what else it could be. It would really be crazy if things get even murkier than they already are. Here's the thing, when charges like these start stacking up the way they have, they do more than just damage a public image. They create a ripple effect. Brand partnerships and even longtime allies Diddy once called family might start distancing themselves, especially if they feel like the public backlash is too much to handle. All of these are already happening. If we're being honest, there's no brand whatsoever that will want to touch Diddy, even if he magically beats these cases. His whole career has been built on the larger-than-life persona. If that falls, what's left? But here's the kicker. Are these accusations just the beginning? Like, are we looking at the tip of the iceberg here? Or is there something else going on? At this point, it is difficult to think things could get any crazier than they already are. But we said that a few months ago, and the allegations have only gotten worse since then. Some people are already speculating that this could be a calculated takedown, a coordinated attempt to bring Diddy down once and for all. Could it be? Or is this just a truth finally catching up to him? One thing's for sure, the fallout from this is far from over, and as more voices come forward, which they certainly will, the question isn't going to be just about what Diddy did, it's about what happens next. Is this going to be the end of Diddy as we know it, or will he somehow find a way to spend this in his favor? Well, that remains to be seen. If he somehow pulls it off and doesn't end up serving a huge sentence, it would be one of the biggest scandal comebacks ever. Things won't be the same, but at least he will get to have his freedom. It's far better than the cell he's currently locked up in pending trial. So back to you. What are your thoughts about Lisa's claims of Diddy allegedly recruiting hot fine women and maybe men at his parties for his freak-offs? Do you think her claims are real? And would it encourage more people who've experienced something similar at Diddy's parties to speak up? Let us know in the comments. And while you're here, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to our station so you don't miss out on this never-ending saga. Trust me, the tea is far from running out. When it comes to having white parties or parties in general, nobody is touching Diddy. The 2004 white party he hosted in the Hamptons was the epitome of his career as a party host. That event was the talk of the town for good reasons until now. Sure, it had all the glitz and glamour, Aretha Franklin, Mary J. Blige, Al Sharpton, and even Paris Hilton mingling under the stars while Diddy dropped from a helicopter like he owned the world. But honey, the party's polished exterior is nothing compared to the jaw-dropping allegations surfacing today. Diddy wasn't just throwing a party, he was making a statement. Decked out in diamonds from head to toe, he strutted around with an original copy of the Declaration of Independence like it was his personal prop, even though the theme of the party, Vote or Die, was a campaign to mobilize minority voters. On the surface, it seemed more like an ultimate mix of politics and celebrity power. But let's not get too caught up in the dazzle, because behind all that sparkle and Vote or Die branding, there are now claims that Diddy's Sir wasn't as innocent as it looked. Allegedly, while the stars were posing for pictures, a small team of guys was quietly working the crowd, scouting young women for one-on-one time with the rapper himself. That's right. What was marketed as a star-studded political rally may have allegedly doubled as a playground for Diddy's hunting ground for his personal desires, and trust me, the details are as shocking as they sound. At least a guest at this 2004 white party who thought she was there for a little glamour, a little mingling, and maybe a chance to rub shoulders with A-listers revealed she ended up getting way more than she bargained for. Lisa recalled she was chatting with another guest, enjoying the whole vibe, when a man slid into their conversation like a whisper in the night, revealing he came bearing gifts. Right? But hold on. Lisa quickly realized there was nothing innocent about this invite. The man didn't even try to hide it. He went on to say that being asked was an honor and casually dropped that it would be an intimate time. Yep, intimate. That's when Lisa's alarm bell started ringing. But Lisa wasn't about to be caught off guard with a silly move. She said her husband would love to meet Diddy, and just like that, the man's whole vibe shifted. He rolled his eyes, muttered, "Never mind," and disappeared faster than a star avoiding paparazzi. Now, here's where it gets even juicier. Lisa's friend, who was with her, chose to accept the invitation. She went along with the group back to Diddy's mansion. But here's the kicker. She never wanted to talk about what happened afterward. All she would say was, "I shouldn't have gone. It wasn't a good experience." Lisa says she dodged a bullet that night, and from the sound of it, she might not be wrong. What started out as a glamorous invite turned into a chilling memory. And it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle of accusations surrounding Diddy. Now let's get into the tea about Diddy's so-called party patrol. If you thought Lisa's story was a one-off, after everything that has gone down in recent months, you've got to think again. There's no way it could have been a one-off. Allegedly, Diddy had a whole system in place to keep the party vibes going. Long after the camera stopped flashing, we're not talking about a casual after-party invite here. Nope, rumor has it that Diddy has a team, yes, a team of men whose sole job was to scout women at his event. Their mission, to find the most attractive and unassuming guests and lure them into what was described as an intimate post-party experience. And this wasn't just a white party thing. Oh no, this so-called recruitment strategy allegedly became a pattern at many of Diddy's high-profile gathering. This kind of confirms the claims that most of these freak-off parties almost always happen at the end of high-profile parties, which means many A-listers and powerful people are probably compromised. If the rumors of the tapes are anything to go by, the feds are going to have a fight day at this upcoming trial. And if you're already raising an eyebrow, wait until you hear about the infamous Wild King Night, another type of Diddy's parties. Former employee Philip Pine spilled the tea in a lawsuit claiming these events were next-level wild. Just imagine 5-star hotel rooms bathed in red light stocked with baby oil, towels, alcohol, marijuana, and even illegal substances that were allegedly used to lace the drink. Oh, and let's not forget the Pi CDR assistance. $1,100 moving. Toys that, well, let's just say weren't for decoration. Hines wasn't just a witness to the chaos. He says he was part of the cleanup crew. According to the lawsuit, he